So in this session, we discuss enhanced selection sort. We have been applying selection sort to integer, and similarly, we can just change that to apply to double or float just by changing the array type. Because the greater to, less than, these operators are universal to primitive data types. But what if we want to do a sorting of array, a sorting on an array of strings? This is apparently very useful, right? Every time you use your web page or cell phone, you will see some application of sorting an array of strings. So let's use the first few some words from Gettysburg Address. Now we are engaged in a great civil war, testing whether that nation or any nation so conceived and so dedicated can long endure. So let's try to sort this by creating a new class. The class will be called selection sort string demo. And we are going to copy this selection sort demo. Actually, I don't need the package, I need the rest. And I have an error. There's an error because selection sort demo, because I copied the selection sort demo class name together. So I'm going to double click on it. It doesn't work. Okay, let me move my mouse over. And there's two quick fixes available. One is what we have done before. Rename the file to make sure they have the same name, or rename the type to make sure they have the same name, the file name and the class name. So the second one is what we want to choose. And apparently this has to be string. Copy. Okay, now it's copied. Let me change the carriage, the new lines a little bit so it looks better. All right, so we have the string value, and we will have selection sort value. Here it needs to be string. And the minimum value, all this minimum value has to be string now. And as you can see, once we change that, there's not too much error anymore. But minimum value, there's an error because the operation is undefined for string, right? So, and this actually is what we are going to do, because if you think about the algorithm of selection sort, every time we find the smallest in the, we find the smallest inside. Let me clear this from previous one. Every time we find the smallest selection in the array and place it in the first element. Now here, what we are trying to do is comparing the current value and the minimum value. What we should do is to use the string equals to, or compare to. And we may want to, if you want, you can try to use compare to ignore case, but here, let's use compare to. And compare to what? Now, once you have a compare to will return a value 0, 1, or -1. And what is the return value if the argument is smaller than the string? Honestly, I forgot. But let me move this compare to. Try to get a Java doc from it. Let's just place a equals to 0 first, so that we can move the mouse here. and get the Java doc. And you can see how useful this Java doc is. The result is a negative integer if string precedes the argument string. If the string is smaller than the string, then the compare to will return a negative value, which means we should use less than. If the minimum value less than, I think I get it wrong, it should be greater than, because if minimum value is greater than the array index, then we need to, then the array index element is the minimum value. So that's when we need to do all the marking, mark that this is the new minimum value, right? So let's start running. Oh, no, because this one is the capital letter, but otherwise it's properly sorted.